there's a deep, at least I found it to be, a deep melancholy to this episode. Everything is stripped away, even identity is stripped away at one point, and we're just left with Cooper, the sort of dogged Boy Scout, and Laura, or Carrie in this case, who was a perpetual victim. And there's something that underlaid the whole new series to me that I found very moving throughout, which is that Cooper, a hero to me when I was 13, as you all heard, and probably to many people here, has lost 25 years of his life. That is a fact of the world of Twin Peaks. He never stops. And then at the very end, there's that line, what year is this? To me, that was the same moment. That was the moment when he realized the cost. At least that's how I interpreted it. I'm not going to ask David how he interpreted it, but I am going to ask Kyle.
Well, you see, the beautiful thing about working with David, and something that I've learned over the years, over the many, many years of asking questions, of pestering David, of knocking on his door in Mexico City when it said no mole stars on the door, which in Spanish is actually no molestar, which means do not disturb. But of course I read it as no mole stars. Remember that? I stopped asking questions and I just go with a feeling. And that's what I did with the final, those moments that you see.
But wasn't Kyle great? Kyle played maybe 4 or 5 characters in the that last 18 hours, and every character was unique. Every character you understood and liked or disliked. He did such a fantastic job. A big round of applause.
Let's jump right into that. Kyle, I was going to say that it was one of the greatest performances I can remember, but it was many of the greatest performances I can remember on television. When were you told that you would be playing multiple parts, and how did you...
Never told. They just said, this is what you're going to do. We're going to pay you for one. No. No, it was, I mean, when you're going to embark on a journey, and you think it's going to be one thing, and then you read it and you realize it's more than one thing. It's actually a number of things that are incredibly challenging, and the expectation was that I could do these things. And David, I don't think, ever doubted that I could do what he was asking me to do. I doubted that I could. But I didn't want, it's not disappoint necessarily, but I know what I needed to do, let's say, and I wanted to do that, of course, for myself, but I wanted to do it even more for David. And I wanted to be able to deliver what I needed to deliver as an actor to make this the most amazing return journey experience for the audience. And so I knew what I needed to do. And David was with me every step of the way. And I went to dark places, and David was right there with his hand on my shoulder and with saying, you can do this, and encouraging me. And as an actor, you just can't have anything better than that. And that's friendship, and that's a great director, a visionary, and friendship, and deep, deep knowledge, having worked together for so many years. All of those things came into play. And David is, I don't have a word, but he's the most amazing person, man, director, individual spirit that I know. So there you go.
I did wonder if your time in the wine trade helped with Dougie's spit takes.
Oh
Because
yes, that's essential.
that you had clearly trained for, and it was remarkable. Laura, you also did have to play more than one part, or possibly. In my interpretation of it, I believe there was, for a large part of the series, you were playing not Diane, but some doppelganger version of her. The real version shows up, and then at the end, you may or may not be Linda. How do you, as an actor, track yourself through these varying versions of a character that actually didn't even have the established history as Cooper did, visually anyway?
I won't be redundant, but in deep agreement for the beautiful things that Kyle said, there truly is no one who is not only as masterful but as deep in their vision and not considering how it's supposed to go or what it's supposed to be. He is the most extraordinary purist as an artist, from my experience, that we have had, and the privilege of my life as an artist, and Kyle and I talk about this all the time and share it, is that we've been somehow on this journey with him. So he makes you brave. There is no actor who's ever worked with David who won't say that. He drives you to be in this elusive, magical, unexpected place where you don't ask questions, you listen to the whisper of his dream, and you are in it. And it's not even linear thinking. You don't necessarily even consider how many parts, or is this person or that person. I had worked with David a few times before and felt like I knew the journey, and then we did a film, Inland Empire, where I kept wondering how many more people might show up that I supposedly was playing. And at one point he did say, when it seemed to be yet another, maybe a third or fourth person, stop asking questions. So I surrendered that.
Stars.
And so on this ride, I just, even when I thought it was one thing, we were talking about it, there was a moment that I was clear who Diane was, and the way he directed me to even touch a door handle and open it invited in this other side. And so I realized that it was always in the gray. It was always elusive. So it just, every scene, every moment invites in deeper surrender. And you could never dream up someone to teach you about art or acting like this.
One of the things that I love about your kind words to David is the fact that Diane, for much of the show, is basically just dunking on Gordon Cole, a character played by an actor who is with us tonight. I was curious, what part of your instrument did you have to reach into to yell at him and treat him that way?
My enjoyment of the word fuck and my longing to smoke cigarettes.
David, how important was it to give an audience a glimpse of Diane? She was obviously central to the first series, but we never saw her teased a little bit off screen in the film, and now we finally get to see her.
Well, it was pretty important.
I thought so.
We finally get to meet Diane. It's beautiful. And Diane was a great assistant to Special Agent Dale Cooper. And you can see the chemistry between the two of them and how the relationship went. And great team for the FBI.
Another note about that character of Gordon Cole, the person playing him was instrumental in deciding who he got to share scenes with. And I did notice that whoever it was wrote a lot of wonderful scenes for himself with Laura Dern, a terrific actress.
And Tammy.
And yes, and Miguel Ferrer as well.
And Miguel, Albert has since... Albert has since passed away, and this is, you know, so sad. And in the world of Twin Peaks, Gordon Cole pretty much devastated.
I mentioned before, I think, the